Hey guys, Marmalade here with Marmalade Outdoors. I hope everybody's doing well. I decided to make this video on my complete resupply plan for the John Muir Trail in 2024, which is actually in about a week from now. So I thought this would be useful and helpful to other people in the future. I personally, if you don't know much about me, I could finally finish the Pacific Crest Trail last summer in 2023. So I've essentially done about, I don't even know, but maybe 90% of the John Muir Trail while I was on the Pacific Crest Trail, because if you don't know, they overlap. But there are some parts that I haven't done, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, but I did myself watch a lot of resupply videos that are out there like this on how to do a resupply plan. And because I have experience going through there, when you first go through there, you really have no idea. You can watch videos, but you don't really know how difficult or not it is, and how, your pace you're going to go at, and how much you eat or not, and all that kind of stuff. So I know that about myself, but I wanted to watch and see some options. And I want to go through verbally. I'll go through the plan and why, and then I'll show you some of the food. I'm going to show you like one typical resupply, and you'll understand that I'm going to do this like 3 times when you see my plan. So let's get started. So I'll go over really quick what I had to take into account in order to plan my plan out, and then I'll show you like one typical resupply, my very first one. Um, but I wrestled with this, and a couple things about me and the plan and how it evolved. It changed a couple times. Was when I initially made my plan about how far to go, how many days of food to carry, where to resupply, all that. It was in the thoughts of me going by myself. So the beauty of going by yourself is you only worry about you. You don't have to take in consideration other people, which they all have their pace and their speed and how much they eat and all that kind of stuff. So when I first made this, because I mentioned I did the PCT. I went out and over. Well, let's start the plan at the beginning. So I got a permit going northbound from Cottonwood Pass, and we're going to finish in Happy Isles in Yosemite. This changed. Originally, I was going to do it faster in 16 days. It was 1-0, and I changed it because I'm going with some people now. And when I started, like I said, I made this plan by myself, but I'm going with other people, which I'll mention in a minute. So we slowed it down a little bit and added one extra 0, which is a rest day. Also, so that effectively makes it another stop to get a resupply. So it has 2 resupplies in this trip. Um, if you don't know, there's no actual permit for the John Muir Trail. You just pick a starting at any point, and then the John Muir Trail is in the middle of that. So by starting at Cottonwood Pass, which is where most people start when they go northbound, we'll hike about a day to Rock Creek, and then another shorter day to Guitar Lake, which is at the base of Whitney, and then start the trip. Now, if you don't know, also, I always assume a lot of the stuff, so I apologize. But if you're doing north or south, it either starts or ends on Mount Whitney and starts or ends on Yosemite at Happy Isle. So you can go either way. I did try to get in the lottery 3 weeks in a row for southbounding and starting in Yosemite, and I couldn't get one. So I'm okay with doing northbound. I did the PCT northbound on the JMT, so I kind of wanted to do it the other way to just experience it in a different way. But maybe I could do that in the future somewhere. But with Cottonwood Pass, yeah, it's nice. We are going to stage ourselves the night before and camp there. I'm starting in the middle of August, which is coming up soon. Like I said, in about a week. We'll camp there and acclimate a little bit, and then start off, do about 14 miles to Rock Creek, and then do, I don't know what it is, I can't remember anymore, 9 or 10 or 11 miles up to Guitar Lake and stage ourselves. Now, how it works is, what's nice about this, and you guys should really, for if I can give you any tips, because I've already done it. I just did it a week and a half ago. I did Whitney on the High Sierra Trail, but I suggest, highly suggest, instead of starting from Crabtree, hiking that extra miles over Guitar Lake. When you get up in the morning, you only have 5 miles to the top. It's 3,000 feet, but it's 5 miles. You're up there. The other beauty about whether you're at Crabtree or Guitar Lake, I'll be staying on night 2 at Guitar Lake to stage myself to start the John Muir Trail, is you can leave your tent set up, all your gear, your bear can, all of that there. You bring some snacks, bring enough water, and then some warm clothes, because it can get really cold and nasty up there. And your backpack weighs like 5-7 pounds, so it's great. You leave your stuff down there. So when you start the John Muir Trail, the plan for our group is to go up, do the 5 miles, 5 miles back, pack up, and then go an extra 3 or 4 or 5 miles down to Crabtree Meadow and camp. So it makes it for about I actually didn't do the math, of maybe 15-16 mile day. So it just makes it easier because it is, if you've never done Mount Whitney, it's a very, very steep climb, and just having to not have to do that extra like 1,200 feet of elevation and 4 or 5 miles from Crabtree just makes a big difference both ways. So that's our plan. So remember, when I'm going through my plan, this is what works best for me. And I had to, once I had other people joining me, I had to kind of account for them and maybe what would be best for the group. We're all older, we're all in our 60s. So I'm going to be 62 this month in August. So we're all older. I think I'm the youngest of the four. We have four people going, by the way. But I had done on the PCT starting at, well, I was on the PCT, but basically, essentially, what we're going to be doing. And I went out at Kearsarge, and it's a lot of hiking. It's about 7 to 8 miles up and over Kearsarge Pass and down Onion Valley, the parking lot. Then you have to get down to Independence, and it's just a whole thing. So we used a whole half a day and a lot of miles to get out of there, get a resupply, and then you got to carry it back all out another 8 miles or so back to the trail. So it's like 16 miles that don't count. But it's a stunning hike. It's beautiful. But as when I was originally making this for myself, I decided that I was going to carry, I had to weigh, is it easier to carry less food and less weight from the start and get out of Kearsarge, which would be on about day 6? Or should I carry 4 or 5 or 6 more days and go and just not worry about Kearsarge, save that 18 or 16 miles and go all the way to Muir Trail Ranch or VVR? So I decided personally at the beginning that I would just carry the weight and I had to take the bigger bear canister. But as time went by and talking, it turned out that I had a permit for 2. And my friend Dave, where I'm staying at a place right now in Washington, he decided he wanted to go with me. It's been his dream to do the trail. So I'm really stoked about that. So there's the 2 of us. I also had 2 others. I actually had 3 others that reached out to me when I made a video. I should say I made a video after I decided I was going to do this trail this spring, saying that this is my plans for the summer. These are the hikes I'm going to do, and I'm going to go on a road trip, blah, blah, blah. And I already did the High Sierra Trail, which is part of my 2 major hikes this summer. And I had 3 people reach out that wanted to join me. Now, one person had to back out for reasons, but I have 2 others that have been with me the whole time. They want to join. So they had to get their own permits and they have to get themselves there, but they're going to start with us. So if you guys have ever watched me, I primarily hike by myself unless it's little weekend things down in San Diego where I live on the PCT. So it's going to be different for me. Every person you add, it's different dynamics. Person wants to go faster or slower, or stop more or stop less, and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes. The 2 people seem great, but I don't know them personally. So I think one of the things you guys want to do if you're ever joining people that are like you don't know really well is to have an agreement. I think it's very important. We had this on the PCT, and I made it clear in our groups that if for some reason we don't get along or we don't hike at the same pace, or maybe 2 of us are going too fast and they can't keep up and they're not enjoying it. Remember, there's a thing about hike your own hike. So we have the agreement, and it's important that we all start together. Hopefully we get along great. Hopefully everything works. But if we don't, they have their own permits so they can break off. So I think it's important if you do get paired with people on any hike that you don't know really well, that you don't know if you're going to get along with them and hike the same pace and that kind of thing, that they are self-supportive and self-sufficient and can get their own permit or their own resupply and just do their own thing. So we're going to start out together, and I'm excited about it, but who knows if we'll be together the whole way or not. I hope so, but who knows? Okay, so I was mired in this for quite a while. Like I said, I watched a lot of videos. I've actually done the section, so I've been to these places. So I kind of like when you go through somewhere, you say, oh, I'd do that again, or maybe I would do something differently. So a mix of that and considering other people's needs, I was going to just do 10 days of carry to VVR, send a box there, and then do the remaining 6 days. I was going to do it 16 days with 1-0 rest day at VVR. So how it changed is now we're doing, instead of 16 and 1 rest day, we're doing 18 and 2 rest days. So let me lay it out for you. It actually works out really well this way, especially being older. I think it'll be good for us. Like I said, I don't know the other 2 gentlemen, but as you get older, you do need some more breaks. I'm used to just grinding it out on the PCT. So I have to stop and think about, I'm not through hiking the PCT anymore. I don't have to do giant miles to get to Canada. I am through hiking the JMT, but I don't have to kill myself. So I had to consider the rest of the group. And so how I changed the format was, instead of 16 days of hiking and 1 day of rest, we're doing 18, like I said, with 2. So we're going to do it in 20 days overall with 2 rest days in there. So 18 days of hiking. And this is the plan. We're going to leave, like I said, in about a week in the middle of August from Cottonwood Pass. It takes, like I said, a day, and it takes 2 days of hiking basically to get to Guitar Lake. The next day we get to Whitney, and then our JMT officially starts up there. And then when we come back down, get our stuff, we're officially doing the miles on the John Muir Trail. We're going to do, including Cottonwood Pass, we're going to do 6 days. On the sixth day, get out of Kearsarge Pass. And we're lucky because Dave, who I mentioned that I'm going with, his wife is going to kind of support us. So a lot of times, I think the hardest thing about the John Muir Trail is trying to where to send boxes. It costs a lot of money. You have to send boxes or buckets, and it costs a lot of money, and it takes a long time for them to get it out there, to get it physically to the place. So if you don't send it in time, you don't get your food. So we're lucky because Dave is going to support, actually, he and I with our resupply. So I'm going to, when I'm done talking, I'm going to show you one resupply, and like a typical one that I'm going to be doing. I've varied it and stuff, but I'm just going to show you one so you can get an idea. And the reason why I'm showing the first one is it's 6 days to get out of Onion Valley. She'll pick us up. We've got a hotel. We're going to do a 0 for, we'll have 2 nights, but a 1-0 or a rest day. Then she'll drive us back up to Onion Valley. We'll get on. We're going to do 6 more days to VVR. It's a lot of miles, and so of the 6 days we're on trail, the last 3 days are around 18 miles, and even one day is 19. So we're going to be averaging, I should mention, we're going to average 14.7 miles a day with this pace, but we have 3 big days in order to get there. So like I said, we'll get, after 6 days of getting out at Onion Valley and having a rest day, we'll get back on trail and do another 6 days to VVR, take a 0 or rest day there. And then we essentially have 6 days to Happy Isle and Yosemite. The only thing we're going to do differently, though, is to lighten our load, is not carry the whole 6 days like we did the first 2 chunks. So basically, we have 3 sets of 6. But the last 6, and if this helps you any, and it depends if you have support or not, we're only going to carry 4 days of the 6 days on the last one, and we'll end up at Tuolumne Meadows in the middle of the 5th day. And Dave's wife will be there with our last really small resupply. It gets us, we'll basically leave Tuolumne Meadows, camp, and the next day is into Yosemite. So we only have to carry like a day and a half. But I mean, why carry 6 days if you don't have to? So we'll carry 4 days, a little fraction over 4 days, and carry the next day and a half, 2 days into Yosemite. So mathematically, it's very even. So 6 days to Onion Valley, 6 days to VVR, and 6 days to finish, with a little break in there to get a resupply. Why I like this personally is I was going to carry 10, 11 days, and it's super, super heavy, and it's hard to start off your hike with a heavy pack like that when you're not in the grind yet. You don't have your trail legs. The main thing that for me that makes a difference, and for me as I've gotten older, and especially learning so much on the PCT, is that to go as light as possible. You never scrimp, and you want to make sure you sleep well and you're warm and things like that. But like, I was really not excited about carrying the BV 500, the big bear canister. I don't have it with me right now, but I didn't want to carry that on top of my pack. But because I was going to have to do 10 or 11 days the first stretch by myself, I would have to bring it. But I'm going to bring the yeah, let me grab it real quick. All right, so I'm going to bring the BV 450, and you guys, I'm sure all you guys know about these, but this one holds, it says it holds 4 to 5 days of food. How I get away with this is a couple things. Now, you guys, it's very, very important you learn about yourself and your body. If you've never done a long trail, a lot of people, the John Muir Trail is the longest and the most substantial hike they'll ever do. So sometimes you just don't know till you'll know. But when I was early on in the PCT and I started long distance hiking and doing 20, 25, 28 miles a day, I know me, and I started losing my appetite. It's exertion. If it's hot out, I run hot, so when it's cold out, I like it, but when it's hot, I melt pretty much. So I just finished, like I said, the High Sierra Trail, and I almost stopped eating the last 2 of the 6 days. So I'm able to get away with this, and why this is important, it's a smaller bear can, it's less weight than the big one, but more than anything, it fits inside my backpack, and I like to have everything in my pack pretty much. So I just use this on the High Sierra Trail. It worked great. So one of the ways, I want to give you some pro tips, okay? What I do is every morning when I get up in my tent, I have a little snack bag. I have it over there. I have a little, like, really lightweight bag. I pull out all my snacks for the day. Now, I eat my breakfast in the tent. I'm packing up, I eat my breakfast. Some people like to do second breakfast, and you walk 2 or 3 miles down the trail and have a second breakfast, which I've done many times. But I try to eat my breakfast in the morning and get going. I put all my snacks in a snack bag, and I put it on the outside of my pack in the stretchy pouch, because to save time and effort when you take breaks during the day, I do not want to get in my backpack and get this out to get food out. There's no reason to do that. Most days, I think on the 6 days on the High Sierra Trail, I only opened my backpack one time the whole during the day until I got to camp was for a rain jacket. Besides that, I didn't get in my pack once because I had everything I needed on the outside. So that's a way to be smart and efficient. So that's the pro tip. The other pro tip, whether you use this one or the BV500, the bigger one on top, and I see this done wrong all the time on trail in the Sierra, and that is that if you look up on the Forest Service, like the rules of a bear can, you are required to have a bear can, and of course your permit, but during the day you are not required to have your food in the bear can. So in this case, I make sure this is in the center. I put this inside my pack, but in the center. I build a base with my quilt and my air mattress and all that stuff. I build a base, and then my food goes in the center so that it's properly balanced when I'm hiking. And what people do wrong is when they have the bigger bear can, they have it on top and it's full of food, and your food is the heaviest thing you carry besides water. So it makes you extremely uncomfortable and top heavy. And I had heard years ago this was a rumor, but I actually looked it up on the Forest Service for the Sierra. And how it works is you do not have to have food in your bear can during the day. So if you've ever backpacked anywhere else but the Sierra and you don't need a bear can, you have a food bag with your food and you put it once again in the center of your pack from going from top to bottom. Um, so that's what you do normally when you don't have a bear can. So what I do in the Sierra when I'm carrying the bigger, which I'm not going to this time, but when I have a bigger one, if I can help you anything at all to make your pack more comfortable, is bring your food bag, put your food in there, pull out your snacks for the day, like I said, put it on the outside, and then to make space in your backpack, pull out some of the socks and clothing, things that are light, put that in your BV500, put it on top. That way you're not top heavy. The clothes are in there. Your food's still like you would normally not be in the Sierras, but anywhere else where the food is in the center of your pack. And then when you get to camp, you are required to put your food in the bear can and put it, like 100 yards or whatever away from your tent. But it's a little bit of work at the end of the night, but it's going to make your life so much better. And especially when you're not getting at your food and the bear can sitting there, it's so heavy with food on top. So just keep that in mind. All right, I think that's about it. Let's show you a typical resupply. I want to show you my first 6 days and show you what I'm bringing. It varies a little bit, but I'll finish by saying that I bring less food. I even brought a little too much food on the High Sierra Trail, and I brought less. But because I bring smaller amounts and less quantities when I'm exerting myself, I can fit it in this. You guys, some people gain their appetite, of course, when they're backpacking, so you have to bring more. But let's go over my resupply, and then if there's any closing thoughts that I can think of, I'll do that. Okay, so I think the best way to show you my food is just show you from the morning and work my way through and show you all the things I bring. So this is not, part of this is breakfast, but it's just part of what I do each day. So this is all my electrolytes for 6 days. I try to have 2 per day. So there's day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 days, I try to have 2 electrolytes every day. I highly suggest this for everybody. I don't know that everybody needs it, but I found from some of my long distance hiking that I had a couple incidences, like almost episodes, where I started to shut down. And when I looked at all my the symptoms I had just too much. I lost salt and had no electrolyte replacement. So I always hike, especially serious hikes like this. I'll do electrolyte. So this will be what I do during the day. I do 2 a day. And I have a lot of different brands. You can see I do a lot of hiking. So I also have some energy blocks that just give me, I've been trying to cut back on caffeine. So these have energy, but no caffeine in them. And they have electrolytes in them is what I mostly want for electrolytes or electrolyte replacement. Also, I'm going to grab a bottle here. So also I'm taking 7 vitamins every morning. So I have them in there. And then I bought some noon tablets. I broke them up. But I was doing coffee for years. I did coffee in the morning, but like I said, I'm cutting back on caffeine. Then this last High Sierra Trail, I did a protein shake, but it really just tasted horrible, so I just couldn't do it. The last 2 days, I didn't even drink it, so I'm not doing that. And then I remember towards the end of the PCT last summer, I was doing electrolyte in the morning because it's really important for me. So that's why I have a noon tablet in each one of these different flavors. I break them up so I can put them in my water bottle, but that'll be instead of coffee. I know that'll kill some people, but instead of coffee or shakes, I'm doing electrolyte first thing in the morning. Put that in me. Also in here in these vitamins, they're not all vitamins. I have I bought this at REI, but I also bought this bottle of electrolyte. So replaces salt. It reduces heat stress, reduces muscle cramping, maintains electrolyte levels, and boosts stamina. So I have one of these in every pack in the morning. And then I have a little bottle in my. I'm probably going to do a gear review of all my gear I'm bringing for the John Muir Trail, but I have a little bottle that has for ibuprofen. So I have some ibuprofen in there, but I also have a bunch of these electrolyte tablets. So I'll just take one once in a while during the day just to have it. So that's kind of the start of the morning. Okay, so next is breakfast, and remember, I left these in here because I have these in the morning at 10. I make sure I have enough water to take my vitamins. I put my electrolytes in my water bottle. I have a 700 milliliter bottle I put on my chest strap while I'm hiking in the morning, so I'll drink that in and get properly hydrated. So remember, this is a resupply for 6 days. So and it's really just 5 days, but 6 mornings. So I have, of course, a Bobus bar, Pro Meal, and then I have some Pop Tarts. I have different flavors. I struggle with breakfast. I cannot eat in real life. I don't eat much breakfast, and on trail I even less. So I know it's important for me. These are almost too much for me, but these taste so good that I can eat them. So that's going to be my breakfast. I'm always going to. I have 3 sets of 6 days on this trip, so 18 days total, and I'll mix different things like this every morning for breakfast. So I'll take my vitamins in the morning, get my electrolyte bottle ready, and I'll eat this before I even start hiking, like while I'm packing up. Okay, next is always tough for me because, as I said, I lose my appetite. So is my snacks for 6 days. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but I'll kind of show you how I do it. I noticed I'm short one of these, so I'll add one more of these. But these are peanut butter crackers. Got those at Target. So one for every day. I'll get another one. And then there's 6 days. I get stuck and get bored when I eat the same thing. These I love all the time, but like in these snacks, I have a pack of peanut butter. So 3 of the days I'll eat this. I'll probably rotate, and these are really great. You get them I got them at I think at Target, but you also have them at Costco. But Belvita crunchy cookies. So these are really good. So this is 6 days right here. It's just I'll alternate that, and then what I do is I use small snack bags to put different snack quantities, daily quantities in there. But they do not keep your food fresh. So you want to put them in a freezer quartz bag. This will keep everything fresh in there. So let me show you kind of how I'm doing this. So I have some Dukes. I'll show you all this stuff. I have some daily Duke snacks like this. I'm probably going to put these all in one bag like that, but just little sausages. I have one for every day. And then these are really just a daily. I want different things. I made big mistakes in the past bringing the same thing and eating it every day and getting sick of it. So this is like a probiotic mix of white chocolate and raisins and craisins and yogurt covered raisins, things like that. So that'll be one day. One day I'll have dried tangerines. I have bacon jerky in here. I have shelled pistachios, which I really like. I have kind of the extra cheese, extra spicy Cheez-Its, which are really great on trail. And this I love. I found it at Target. It's Tex-Mex, like mixed. You find it at a pub sometime, like spicy, has pepitos in there and almonds and all kinds of things. But this is really good. So each day I'll pick out one of these. I have one of these. I have one of these. And one of the sausages. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm telling you that it'll be a miracle if I even eat all this. It's the way I am, and this is why it's important to learn your body and learn yourself. This is how I am, and what's great is when I take a zero, if I want to add some food, if I need more food, I will. But this will be the first stretch. My body kind of goes into shock when I first get on trail, and I just don't eat much. So that is my snacks during the day. All right, so next are my 5 dinners. It's 6 days, but 5 dinners. Because of where I work, I get a discount on some products online. So these are backpacker pantry meals. And I bought full 2-person meals on the High Sierra Trail, and I couldn't even force half of it down every day. So what I did is I took these meals and I split them in half. So I'm just essentially eating 1-person meals at night. It's just the way I am. And I know it's hard to explain, but that's the way it is. So these are backpacker pantry meals, and I'll give you let me read some of these. This is the Wild West chili and beans, that one. I have risotto with chicken, and that bottom one here is lasagna. Uh, this is a vegetarian one, but I'm not vegetarian, but I like it. 3-bean veggie stew. And then I got 3-cheese mac and cheese, which everybody loves. All backpacker pantry, and I cut them in half. Um, I put one of these air to keep the moisture out, so it's really important to keep that. And I use freezer course packs because I cook in them. I pour boiling water straight in here, and that's how I cook. So it keeps everything fresh. And if you use a sandwich bag, it will be stale and not keep it fresh. And then I can actually pour boiling water in there and cook in there. The other things I add this year, which is new for me, I did on the High Sierra Trail and it tasted great, which I bought these sleeves. It was like a 30 or 40 pack on Amazon of olive oil. So I'll add some that'll add some calories, healthy calories to this, and that'll be my dinners. All right. Lastly, I always have some kind of dessert or treat for myself. It's just kind of a reward for a hard day. These happen to be in this particular barrel, Rice Krispie treats, and then some mini Oreo cookies. I grabbed some out of another resupply. I do this a lot more actually. Is some M&Ms. I do gummy bears. These are already prepackaged for my next resupply, but I bring gummy bears and M&Ms. Those are really good on trail too. So they're a little heavy compared to this stuff. So yeah, but sometimes carrying that weight's worth it at the end of the night when you get a little treat. Well, I hope that helps you in some kind of way. Just remember, it's always a fine line with long distance hiking, and a lot of you guys that have done it, you already know this, but it's a fine line between uh, going slower, but then you have to carry more weight and food when you have few and far between resupplies. So sometimes it behooves you to go a little farther every day so you can do your back and your legs a favor and not carry so much food. I will say the last thing is that I designed this trail. Originally, I told you for myself. I should say the resupply plan and the mileage plan for myself. I had to redo it because we have other people coming and joining me. But I've designed it purposely when we leave Cottonwood Pass only to do 14 miles. Now, some people, they don't do 14 miles a day. We have a big climb out of Cottonwood Pass. It's a pretty cruisy day overall. And the next day is only about 8 or 9 miles to Guitar Lake. And then the next day we get to leave all our gear and everything at camp and only carry an empty pack with a couple warm jackets and a little bit of food and water. And that's so we do a big day up to Mount Whitney. The next day is about 12 miles to the base of Forester Pass. But the first 4 days are purposely not super, super hard compared to the rest of the trail. And that is to wean ourselves into it and not kill ourselves early. So between now and not carrying 10 or 11 days of food all the way to VVR, but getting out of Kearsarge Pass and only doing 6 days, I'm carrying a lot less weight. And I've purposely factored in less miles early. Now that means we have to step up the miles later on, but again, you don't have to do that if you want to cruise slower, but you have to either spend a lot more money on resupplies more often and more resupply places, or carry more weight to do less miles but take more days. So okay, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was helpful. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. That really helps with the algorithms. Hit the notification bell up here if you want to be notified every time I have a video. And I will be making a whole series of videos of my John Muir Trail adventure. So if you want to follow along, then please subscribe. And I think that's it, man. I got a week to go. I'm doing last minute preps, and then I'm out. All right. See you guys next time.